bomb bottles. So, of course, there's crime in London. London's a metropolitan city. And with about 1.6 million people in South London, there's going to be crime. When you look at the top 3 types of crime that there is in South London, you have domestic violence, hate crimes, and knife crimes. But London is a metropolitan city, and there's about 7 or 8 million people living in London currently. And when you throw in things like gentrification, over-policing, poverty, lack of spending on public services such as mental health care, it's going to lead to one thing. So when we talk about South London, we talk about the area south of the River Thames. And it's made up of some inner boroughs such as Southwark, Lambeth, Wandsworth, Lewisham, Greenwich and Merton. But to not annoy too many people, there are some outer boroughs that could still technically be classed as South London, such as Richmond and Kingston, Sutton, Bromley and Bexley, and of course I have to give a special shout out to those living down in Croydon. As you can see, it is actually a pretty big area, but who's living there? Now, one of the best things about South London for me personally is the diversity. Now, admittedly, these stats are a bit out of date, and as time goes by, these regions are definitely changing. However, what's interesting is the comparison of something like race between the outer boroughs of South London and the inner ones. But there's a reason for that. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail here because there's a lot of information already online and simply I wouldn't do it justice. However, the aftermath of World War II meant that the UK needed rebuilding. And with heavy losses to its own population, the UK had to reach out for help. And that help came in the form of mass welcomed immigration from places like Jamaica and other areas of the Caribbean. And those people naturally settled where the work was, in places like the Midlands, Manchester, and of course, Brixton in South London. And that burst of immigration really gave these areas life and shaped them into what they are today. But unfortunately, with lack of investment and our good old friend gentrification, the people and the businesses that made these areas what they are today are being pushed out. And these areas are changing once again. Now, I do realise that I might be coming across a bit negative here. But there are lots of good reasons to venture south of the river. Here's a few. Brixton is now well known for its unique mix of old and new, with independent shops and restaurants popping up, yet still maintaining that sense of community. And even though that community has and is changing, it still holds on to its history and heritage. It's also home to one of my favourite venues in London, the Brixton Academy, which has seen countless performances over the years from David Bowie, Madonna, NERD, Anderson .Paak, Chronixx, the list is endless. Another place is Peckham. That's not somewhere where I've personally spent too much time, but it is another cultural hub of South London, which stays connected to its roots and offers cool new spaces for creativity and independent spots where you might find a thing or two that you won't find anywhere else in London. Now, once you've spent all your money and your belly full up, why not take a trip down to one of South London's green spaces, such as Crystal Palace Park? Here you can get figuratively and literally lost, whilst also checking out the Eiffel Tower of South London and spotting something in the bushes that isn't going to bite too much. So South London might not be the most extravagant of places, and there's definitely some nicer areas than others, but there are not many other places in London that have such a rich diversity and that vein of culture running through it. So if you don't live in London, or you do live in London and just haven't been to South for a long time, definitely come and check it out. If you do already live in South London, add to the comments below and tell me exactly what you love about South London and why.